Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Will. This is Will of the Nerds, and we're back on deck stats. As you can see, I'm going to stop to take a drink. I know, real professional of me to do it right in the intro. But I just got done recording a video and I am parched. So, last time we went over the Island Walk and the Dragon Babies deck. And as you can see, by the time these go up, you've seen Gods Demand Sacrifice, Angels and Demons, Vampire Tokens, Digging for Gold, and Assassin and Rogue. So we're going to go over the Wizard Burn and the White Angels deck. Both of them just monocolored. So we'll go into the Wizard Burn. As you could probably guess, Wizard Burn is wizards that do burn spells, basically. 4 sorceries, 14 instants, and 20 creatures. That adds up to 20, 38, 48, 38, 38. Yeah, 38. I can do math real well. It's it's 38, 22 mountains. Mono red, you can switch the lands out if you have any lands that you prefer, but I just went straight mountains, make it easy. There you go, mana distribution, mana source. Card types, 33% creatures, 37% lands, 30% spells, a lot of low convert mana cost stuff. I'm not sure what the 7 convert mana cost thing is, but I believe this deck is pretty cheap, in all honesty. Yeah, $20. Oh, excuse me. Most expensive card is Earthquake. And like $7 for all the mountains. Seriously? Basic mountains? Like, you can get them for free from basically anybody. Alright, we'll go to visual spoilers. We'll go over everything like it did in the last one. There's all your land base. Mountains, 22. Pretty. Ooh. So we have the instance first. Chandra's Outrage. Deals 4 damage to target creature and 2 damage to its controller. So, straight out of the gate, doing damage to creatures, doing damage to the opponent. Chandra's Pyro Helix deals 2 damage divided as you choose between 1 or 2 targets. Now, I really tried to choose stuff in this deck that say target, any target. So, you could target a creature, you can target the player themselves. And most of the point of this is to target your opponent to get your opponent dead quickly. Like, that's basically the point of burn decks, right? Magma Jet deals 2 damage to any target and lets you scry, which is nice. That way, like, if you have a lot of mana in hand and you don't need it, put it at the bottom of your deck, get some more spells. Reverberate, copy target instant or sorcery spell, and choose new targets for it. In multiplayer, it kind of works, but, I mean, you could target your opponent, then target one of their creatures. You can also take Reverberate out for another, Chandra's Pyro Helix and Magma Jet, whatever. Or you can do 2 more shocks. Of course, shocks in here. 2 damage to any target. Wizard's Lightning. Wizard spells. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each wizard you control. Of course, Wizard Lightning's going to be in a Wizard Burn deck. Why wouldn't it be? Deals 3 damage to any target. Earthquake. X damage to each creature without flying and each player. So, like, you're going to take damage from this too. This might be one to switch out with something else that's just X that doesn't do damage to each player. Maybe it's X and a red. I'm trying to think of a card off the top of my head. I know there's other, like, X ones that just do damage to creatures or players. I would probably pick one that does damage to player. Volcanic Vision. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. It deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to each creature your opponent controls. So, yeah, I mean, that would work. Volcanic Visions. It's a high mana cost, 7 mana cost. Does damage to their creatures, and then you can have your other big sorcery spell be to the player. That would probably work a lot better. Then we have, I think there's a lot of 2 of everything except for wizards and this one here. So Dualcaster Mage, Flash, enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for it. Okay. So yeah, it's flash. So I mean, you can target an opponent spell too. You know, why not? Fervent Paincaster, tap, deal 1 damage to target player. Exert, deals 1 damage to target creature. Fire Fist Adept, when it enters the battlefield, deals X damage to target creature and opponent controls, where X is the number of wizards you control. I mean, turn 5, if you have 5 wizards out, that's probably killing a creature. There is a lack of flying stuff in here, so maybe you want to do maybe red-green. Maybe something, maybe you can find a wizard with reach, or you can throw a plummet or something in here to protect yourself from flying. That might make it a little better. Because Dualcaster Mage, I would honestly probably get rid of. Earthquake, I'd probably get rid of. And Reverberate, I'd probably get rid of. And I'd probably throw like a Plummet with Reverberate. I'd find another X spell that does damage directly to the player instead of each player. And Dualcaster Mage, maybe I would put some kind of destruction in there, or maybe like a damage or a destruction spell or creature. Then we did Fire Fist Adept. Then we have Get to Chronicle. It has a kicker. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That one's okay to have in here. So yeah, like Volcanic Visions and these ones return stuff to your hand, which helps. Get to Journeyman. When it enters the battlefield, if you control another wizard, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. So obviously, you're more than likely going to control a wizard. And I mean, it counts itself too. So when it enters, it's going to do 2 damage regardless. Pyromantic Pilgrim just has haste. Again, you could probably get rid of this for a burn spell or another wizard that does some damage. As you could tell, like a lot of these are like Dominaria and like the Ixalan newer sets, because I believe I had Wizard's Lightning and I was like, oh cool, and then these are just the ones I had. I didn't really do much research into this deck. It was just kind of thrown together real quick. Spark Mage Apprentice. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Simple, to the point. Stormfleet Pyromancer. When it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. That one's nice. And then Vishino Pyromancer. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. The reason there's a playset of them is for that last one. So it could keep... I mean, it's not going to kill a planeswalker unless somebody's not really paying attention to their planeswalker. But it's going to keep them from ultimating their planeswalker mostly. And then, like, you can put other stuff. I would, there's some cards I would get rid of in here to put maybe like a planeswalker destruction if you can. I don't know if there's anything in red, but we'll look at the starting hand. Yeah, that one's fine to keep. You can play a mountain, add a card, play this. I'd play Magma Jet. There's 2 damage right away. Scry 2. Let's say we just draw a card off of that. Okay, your turn, draw a card, play this. I would save that for right now. You could play your Get 2 Journeyman. It's going to do 2 damage. There's 4 damage. Draw a card. We'll say we'll save that. Let's play that. So that's going to be 2 less to cast for if you control a wizard, which you do. So it's only going to cost 1 mana. Right? Yep. 1 mana, and you're doing 3 damage, so that's 7 damage by turn 4. Play this, you got 4 damage. You did, okay, probably might kill a creature there. You're up to 9 damage. Then 10, 11. And now you're getting into stuff that you're probably going to start hurting a little bit, especially if you have any kind of life gain. I mean, that's 4 mana. You can play this for its kick. Next turn, draw a card. You got 5 mana. You could play Stormfleet after you attack. Yeah, Stormfleet after you attack. That's 2. That's 11 damage right now. 12, 13, maybe killing a creature. Ba, 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 ba. And let's say, I mean, you can play this. You're probably going to do 3 damage, I would think, because by this point you're not going to have all of your wizards. You might only have 2. Yeah, I'll say 3 damage. That's what, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. Like you're it's going to take a while. That's why I suggest like getting rid of Dualcaster Mage and Pyromantic Pilgrim. I mean, this kind of works in a burn deck though. It has haste. You're going to do 3 damage on turn 3 if nobody has a blocker. Probabilities, there you go. Don't really look at any of that. And then we can go back to, oh no, we need to go to decks. My decks. And then the last one we got to look at is White Angels. So this is probably one of my favorite decks. It's one of my first decks that I made by myself. It's been through many alterations. I believe there's 62 cards in this. So if you want, take 2 cards out. If you want, play to 62. That's up to you. 26 lands, 2 artifacts, 7 enchantments, and 27 creatures. So we'll look at the details. Mana distribution. It says it's all white, but there is stuff in there that produces green mana. Because as you'll see in a bit, you're going to need green mana. Creature, lands, and spells. There you go. And it is a bit of a late deck. The 3 and 4 drops are mainly like your control stuff. Alright, so $300 deck. I don't think this is the most expensive deck I have, but it is one of the most expensive decks I have. And Gisela the Broken Blade, oh, she's $50 now. Oh, no, she's $25 a piece. $50 for 2 of them. And there it is, Cavern of Souls for 2 of them. $68 a piece. Yeah, those ones. What else is doing it? Lyra Dawnbringer. She's expensive. Archangel of Tithys. She's up there. Ghostly Prison. Yeah, they're up there. Okay. All right. Let's look at the visual spoilers here. I don't have these Cavern of Souls. I think I have both of them from Innistrad, I believe is what it is, or Avacyn Restored. Blossoming Sands creates a green and a white. It's in there because it gives you 1 life. Because you'll see from some of the other stuff, it just helps. Cavern of Souls. You name a creature type, and that creature type can't not be countered. So, of course, it's in here. I want to get 2 more. They're too expensive. I can't really afford them right now. I want 2 more of these Cavern Souls to put in another deck I have, which we'll review later on, because it's ridiculous in its own right. 16 planes, and then 4 Seraph Sanctuaries. When it enters the battlefield, you gain a life. When an angel enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. And it's just colorless. You don't really need a whole lot of green. I mean, you can throw forests in there if you don't have Blossoming Sands. You can throw another dual land in there as long as it creates a green mana. Green and white works because if you don't need the green, you can just tap it for white. So we start out with the 2 artifacts. Spear of Heliod. Creatures you control get a +1/+1. So this kind of helps early game if somebody has a creature that you don't have out yet and they're pinging you and you have free mana open. You can tap this, pay that mana and tap this and destroy that creature. It protects you a little bit. Then you have Always Watching. Again, non-token creatures you control get a +1/+1 and have Vigilance. So now we're up to 2 counters. This one can stack. So you're looking at a +3/+3 if in a perfect world. I think I've had a Spear of Heliod and Always Watching and a Dictate of Heliod all out at once. You can't stack Spear of Heliod, but you can stack Always Watching and Dictate of Heliod. But the Vigilance is nice because your creatures aren't going to tap now. Dictate of Heliod, Flash, creatures you control get a +2/+2. So you're looking at a +4/+4, +5/+5, +6. So you're looking at a +7/+7 if you end up with both of these, and one of these out. Ghostly Prison is another card that's going to help you, especially with Spear of Heliod, because nobody can attack you unless they pay 2 mana for each creature that's attacking you. It's a bit of a dick move, but a lot of these angels are high mana cost, and this protects you at turn 3 because a lot of your angels aren't going to come out till turn 5, turn 6. Like, there's some in here you can get out by turn 4, but not a lot. Agus Angel, when she comes out, she gives indestructible to a target creature. She's in here for one other card. When I scroll down, you will see her. I'll let you know what the whole plan with Agus Angel being in this deck is for. Then you have 2 Angel of Invention, Flying, Vigilance, Lifelink. She's in here to give your other creatures +1/+1. Again, buffing your angels. They're going to be so strong by mid-end game that most people aren't going to be able to kill them with just like regular spells. Like, I know there's a couple red spells. My friend has one. Like, all creatures get -X till end of turn. And unless they're paying all their mana to board wipe you, it's only going to kill your creatures. It's not going to get rid of your Ghostly Prison. So they're not going to be able to attack you even though they wiped your board. Archangel of Tithys, which goes in with Ghostly Prison. As long as it is untapped, creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless they pay 1 for each of those creatures. As long as Archangel of Tithys is attacking, creatures can't block unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. So, if you keep her untapped, and the most Ghostly Prisons I've had out were 2. So that's 4 mana. You play her, they got to pay 5 mana to just to attack you. And chances are they're not going to have that unless, if they want to play any cards, they're not going to have any extra mana left over to attack you. And if they do attack you, there's a good chance one of your angels is out strong enough to block whatever they're throwing at you. Rune of the Fading Light. Whenever you cast, you may return target angel or human card from your graveyard to the battlefield, Flying and Vigilance. She's in there for that second one, plus she's also in there for her flip ability, which I don't know if it will let me see her flip side. Let's just click her on Card Kingdom. We'll go over here real quick. Reverse side. Flip card image slowly. Oh, and when she combines with the other card, we'll get to Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells with a converted mana cost to 3 or less. So it's control-y, pretty much. It's all of that stuff. The Lifelink is nice. Then we have Exquisite Archangel, which saved me the last time I played this deck. If you were to lose the game, instead exile this and your life total becomes your starting life total. So there's 2 of them in there. You got two game restarts for you. And then we have Casilla, which goes with Bruna, Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, and when they're both on the field, you exile them, and then at the beginning of your end step, you flip them, and they come back as that monstrosity that we saw. We can actually, let's go to Card Kingdom again. You can look and see what flip card image. Oh, nice and slow. That's what it looks like. What is it? Brasilla, Voice of Nightmares. And then that goes into Gold Knight Redeemer. When it enters battlefield, you gain 2 life for each other creature you control. So more life gain. Fantastic. Guardian of the Gateless. I absolutely love this card. It can block any number of creatures, and it gets a +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature it's blocking. So it's getting a +1/+1 for each creature it's blocking. So, most cases it's going to go toe-to-toe with most creatures that come out, and they would just trade blows. But it's also getting the buffs from, like, everything else, like your enchantments. If you have Angel of Invention out, it's getting that buff. This card, I think there's another card down here it's getting buffs from. Linvalva the Preserver, she's the Preserver. She's another step towards Exquisite Archangel. That way, like, if you have less life or if you have less creatures, like, you're not getting board state because maybe your angels are getting killed as soon as you put them out. So maybe somebody has an answer for it. But if you have less life, you gain 5 life. If you have less creatures, you get a 3/3 white angel creature token. It's a win-win, in my opinion. If you only have one, then you get the other, Lear Dawnbringer, flying, first strike, lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and lifelink. So I really love this card too. Obviously buffs your angels and it gives them lifelink. So now they all have lifelink, and if this is out, they all have vigilance. So they're just, the only thing that would make it better is if I had a card to give all of my angels indestructible, and I'd have to find a place to put it in this deck. And then I just go and attack willy-nilly, you know, like I'm going to attack every turn, and guess what? My angels aren't going to tap, and they're not going to die, and I'm just going to gain a fuck ton of life. That's the dream, isn't it? Shalai, Voice of Plenty, which is why you need that green mana in here. Flying, you, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. Pay 4 colorless, 2 green, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Now, that green mana in here is for that ability. And Agus Angel here, where is she? That gives a target creature indestructible is for Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Because if you make her indestructible, you have to kill her first, but you can't target Agus Angel because she has hexproof. Unless you do like a clean board wipe that destroys everything, it's just going to destroy everything else but Shalai. And as long as you know, if you're going to board wipe, Shalai is still going to have the counter, like all the buffs from the enchantments you have, because chances are by now you'll have at least one of them out. Then you have Subjugator Angel. When it enters the battlefield, tap all creatures your opponents control. And Sunblast Angel. When it enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures you control. Now, I think I've had this work once, and I think it was in a Commander game when I had my Commander deck, where I tapped everything with Subjugator Angel, and then I played Sunblast Angel and destroyed everything. Sure, I'm pretty sure there's other cards that tap all creatures, and then you can play Sunblast Angel that's cheaper than, 8, 9, 10, 12 mana, but, you know, whatever. I like it in there just for that, just in case it ever got to late game and I had those 2 cards in my hand and I had 12 free mana. I'm like, sure, why not? That would probably end the game if it ever got that late. Starting hand. Oh, look at that. Cavern of Souls immediately. Angels. Now none of your spells can get countered. Add a card. We add a Plains. Add a card. I say we throw down a Plains and then throw down Always Watching. Add a card. Blossoming Sands. Ghostly Prison to get some defense, and you get a life. We get to draw another card, so we have 4 mana. I don't think we can do anything, but we can play another Always Watching. Double down on that vigilance. You know, the +1/+1s help too. All right, so that's 5 mana. I guess we could have played Shalai, so we'll play Shalai now. So now everything's going to have hexproof except for her, so you're kind of hoping for Agus Angel at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I guess you could play Subjugator Angel. That would probably be the best bet to do, because you can tap everything, and then I guess you can swing in with Shalai to do some damage. She's not going to tap, so it works. Okay, well, I mean, we're 1 mana away from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You say play Gasilla. Add a card. Guess what? We're playing that. Like, everything's got a +3/+3 at this point. Okay, you got 6 mana. Still waiting. Let's see. Actually, probably, I mean, every other creature. That's 2, 4. That's 6 life. I'd say that's the only thing you can play is Gold Knight Redeemer. Now you get Seraph Sanctuary. I always start with Seraph Sanctuary in my hand, and of course I do this, and it's not my hand. All right, so now you have the mana to do everything. If Gasilla is still alive, which usually when I play her, that's the first target they have, but they also can't target her because you have Shalai down. So if Shalai's still alive, chances are, I mean, if Shalai's dead by this point, Gasilla's more than likely still alive. So you play Bruna, obviously. and then she'll flip at the end of the turn and become that abomination, and then ghostly prison. So now you're basically kind of untouchable at this point. People got to pay 4 mana just to attack you. That's rough. I would honestly play Exquisite Archangel and hope that Shalai's still alive. You know, play that. Like, I'm hoping for that Archangel, or Aegis Angel. Excuse me. And she just doesn't want to show up, does she? Oh, there she is. By turn 20, chances are the game's not... I mean, I don't know. If you play free-for-all multiplayer, you might get to Aegis Angel, you know. But, whatever. Okay, so there's the probabilities for everything. I really don't look at it and don't get too much in depth with it. But that will end the video here. If you guys could please like, subscribe, share, hit that bell icon. That way you get notified every time I upload a video. You can follow me over on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description. And keep your eye out for any box openings coming up soon. I'll have stuff for Force of Will, Magic the Gathering, 2 or 3 dead TCG games. I have Warhammer Champions I have cards for that I want to go through. I want to get Bleach cards to go through, and then Star Wars Clone Wars cards that I want to go through. And then I have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some old Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I want to go through and do basically like box openings for them, even though like I already have the collection of some of these cards. But just to show you my collection and go over and maybe pull out cards that I think are worth money, or maybe you guys can yell at me, be like, oh my god, that's a first edition whatever, that's worth like $200 right now, and because I don't fucking know. Like, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in years. So but with that, we will end it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.